Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to my little interview this evening with the very lovely, the very handsome, the freshly trimmed by his own hands. Well done. Mr.
Thank
Andy
you.
Shaw, the guildmaster of grown-ups gaming in Elder Scrolls Online and other places. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Mike. Cheers.
Yes. That's what is your beverage again? You did say.
Single malt.
Single malt. Ribena, everyone.
So you tell us. I thought I'd need it for this.
Right, we've got Stacey saying hello already. Hello, Stacey, darling. How the hell are you? Let's move that a little bit so I can actually see. There we go. Ooh. Right. So, and hello, Mr. Ben, Mr. Dark Clown, darling. Lovely to see you too.
Hello.
So, Mr. Andy, for those of you who don't know who you are, which I can't believe is anybody, with your worldwide fame, would you please describe who you are and what you do?
That's a challenge. I'm just me, really. I'm just an ordinary bloke who plays an online game, and I used to play another one, and we dragged a name across, and everybody thinks that I'm Dark Clown, which I think is absolutely superb, because that means Ben gets the blame for everything.
That's very true.
So, yes, player of games, runner of a guild or two, drinker of whiskey, and enjoyer of live music. Kind of sums it up.
Right, we're getting a little bit of a glitch with your Skype at the moment. I don't know if it's my end or yours, but it's all right. We can keep going. The audio's fine.
Yeah.
So for those people out there who don't know what... first thing first, the game we're talking about is Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
And what is a guild master?
The guild master is the foolish person, me, who set up the guild almost 5 years ago because he won a race. And basically it can be up to 500 people, ideally working together. Rarely happens.
I was going to say.
Getting on together. Rarely
Wishful
happens.
thinking.
And generally having a good time helping people out. So I'm just there. I have some very good people, if you want to class them officers. The guild's set up like the mafia, so mafia officers who do all the work for me, really. So I shouldn't really say that. They'll be wanting more money.
That's very true.
Although they can have exactly as I'm paid, which is nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to be just highly thought of. Who needs money?
Yeah. It's an idea, basically. It's an idea we started off. I played Destiny, the first Destiny game, and I kind of wanted to join a clan, and there was a clan there called Grown Ups Gaming. I thought, that looks all right. Just guys fancy having a beer after work and shooting a few things. And a few people said, well, let's carry on. The guild, the clan, I should say, kind of fell apart a bit, and I ended up not leading it, but doing most of the promotion along with Connor, another guy who joined Elder Scrolls. And we said, let's have a guild and we'll play this. So we did. And nearly 5 years later, I'm the only silly devil still playing it out of the ones that came. But it's worth it. I've met some good people. I've met some idiots, but I've met a lot of good people. So that's all that matters.
We'll come to the people who you've met, I've met through it. So for those of you who don't know what Elder Scrolls Online is, probably the best way to describe it, isn't it? Just kind of like an action-adventure game, a huge open landscape.
Yeah, run around, throwing spells, hitting people with swords, doing quests, going into an area where you're playing against other players, trying to kill each other. It sounds quite simple. It's a lot more complicated than it is, but that's the basis of it.
It's more unbelievably complicated, as anyone who joins these days finds out. And one of the great things about it is the social side of it, isn't it? Because you can play on your own. You don't have to interact with people if you don't want to. You can go off and do your own thing. But
yeah.
One of the great parts is the fact that you can, say, cooperatively play with other people. You do dungeons together. You do huge, great trials together.
Trials, especially drunken trials.
Yeah.
A certain gentleman occasionally does those. There's new players, introducing new players to them. There's a lot harder content as well. And then there's the occasional decent, good laugh on a Saturday night with a decent group in player versus player, trying to kill some bananas and blueberries, which some people won't have a clue what that means, but it'll mean something to somebody.
It will. So we've got a few more people. We've got Mr. Christopher Palmer. Hello, Chris. We've got Anthony, and his girlfriend Heather is watching because she's a nerd. Good girl. Excellent.
Yeah, excellent.
Carry on. Samuel Wilson says, evening, Mike and Zero. And Ben also says nerdy stuff. Correct.
Yeah, excellent.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about in regards to online gaming, because I think because computer gaming used to be for a children's thing, didn't it, in the early days? And I think those, well, yeah, we say that. I know that adults, when the old Ataris came out and all the adults were still playing it anyway.
Yeah.
But it was, as the years have gone by and the games have become more adult and more in-depth and everything, and adults, obviously, from that generation have grown up playing these new games. Do you think there is much of a stigma still left about adults playing games, or do you think it's a completely new world now where it's more accepted and people get why?
Yeah, I think they do. If I go back a few years, and when I bought a PlayStation 1, you used to have to ring up to register it, to register your account. There's no online stuff. It's a case of ring this number, and they ask for your age. I have a feeling now we're about 27. Oh, and it was sort of like, I'm telling somebody I'm 27 to register a games console. And apparently I was about the average age.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's always been, for a long time, there's been adults playing games, and just that some of us haven't stopped.
Yeah, that's very true.
And it's a good relaxation. You know, it's supposed to be a stress relief. Supposed to be a stress relief. For those of you listening, hint.
Take note.
Yes.
You do know Andy wasn't grey at all before he started the guild. I had a full head of hair.
That's true. No, I'm not the oldest person in our guild. No, but I'm close to it. But there's a lot of people just actually playing that are 30s, 40s, and you do come across a lot more people in the 50s. I've got some friends that have been playing a lot of years. They still play. You know, so yeah, it's accepted that it is. You know, my own, well, years ago, the doctor I had then, he described as gaming as a stress relief. And I'll cling on to that.
Yeah, completely agree.
That's my excuse forever. I'm playing games because it's a stress relief. Don't matter if I throw a controller, that's another stress relief. So I have to buy a new one.
Well, the amount you play, you probably wear through them quickly anyway. Oh, Anthony's just said, I'm 29 and currently playing Pokemon. I'm not ashamed. Good boy. Well done.
No comment. I played Pokemon Go for about 3 or 4 hours just for the enjoyment of just pointing it down the main street in Doncaster saying, "There's Pikachu!" and watching how many people turned round. It was a few. I was quite surprised.
I can imagine. So, regarding, say, the social side of things, because I think that's one of the great things that's happened as games have evolved and the internet has evolved, and the fact that you can meet players from all around the world. You can, so it becomes more than just people you play with. I found sometimes it becomes almost like family. I know relationships have started up.
Yes, they have.
So, and also it's one of those things where actual members of the gaming groups do meet up, and because you guys have an actual grown-up gaming meet-up, don't you, for Christmas and that kind of thing?
We did. Look, I've still got one of these spare.
Oh,
Vonbeardingham. If that's your size.
What size is it? Is it a medium?
No, it's large.
Oh, shit.
It'll shrink.
Mother, get on it.
Yeah, it's strange when you sat there talking and somebody's in New Zealand or somebody's in America, middle of the night or nearly midnight, and somebody said, "Oh, I've got to go to work," and it's in the morning. It's very strange, but yeah, we've met a few people. We met at last Christmas. We were hoping to meet up again in Birmingham in June, but unfortunately COVID-19's kind of kicked that in the teeth.
Yeah, hasn't it just?
So we're planning another one for this Christmas that's going to be less socially restrictive, hopefully, by then.
Or you'll all end up sitting in a field 2 meters apart in a nice grid fashion.
Yes. Yeah, well, Sophie's organised it so she can put the grids on the ground. I'm not doing it. She wants to do that, but yeah.
No pressure, Sophie.
Yeah, no pressure. If she's watching, Sam, tell her. It's one of those things. It's strange to meet people. So I'm not the most social person in the world in the real life. So I met Danny and Emma down at EGX once at Birmingham. I met yourself and Carrie. You decided to drive past Doncaster for some unknown reason.
I don't know why we did. I think we were heading past that. We weren't.
Yeah, it's a good place to stop for dinner.
Yeah.
And then obviously all the guys that came up last Christmas, last December, which was a great night out. It could have been carnage. The idiots wanted to come to Doncaster, and they came. Everybody managed to get a T-shirt because I was daft enough to get them printed. Bob lost his because he was drunk. So I sent him another one because I'm like that.
See, everyone, this is what a real guildmaster does. This is a prime example.
Hides behind Dark Clown's name.
Yeah. So one of the things with I noticed about being in a guild, not only is it a really good way to get help when you're playing in a game as such, but also, say with the social side of things, it's you don't realise how attached and how much the people mean to you in the game, especially like for example when you look because was it last? It was last year now, wasn't it?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, when we lost Ben, who was an absolutely cracking guy. He was really lovely, really generous, always helped anyone out in the guild. And there was such a sort of big outpouring of grief. Like you actually lost someone who had been a friend of yours for a long time.
Yeah. It's strange. I mean, that was the extreme because everybody kind of stopped for a minute or two or three. It was just sort of like total shock.
Yeah.
I know some of you guys managed to get down to his funeral as well. And for anybody who's in the guild who hasn't been to the guild house, there's an absolutely amazing memorial to him that Mr. Griffiths made.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
It must have taken him hours.
Yeah, that was a labour of love. I think we can safely say from there.
But yeah, it's strange that the total strangers kind of they become not total strangers, then they become friends.
Yeah.
And I find it really strange when somebody leaves the guild and doesn't say they're going. If it's somebody you've played with a few times, you kind of go, what's going off? Why have they left?
Yeah, it actually means something, doesn't it?
What have you done that for? Oi, this is my guild. Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving me?
Yeah.
What, is it something I've done, something I've not done? Who's upset you? And all that kind of goes through your head. I mean, Ben left the guild once, as in Ben Haysom. It was just getting a bit too much for him. He was getting stressed out a lot. And I was still messaging him afterwards. And yes, he came back. But he said it was possibly the best thing he did at the time was to leave. But when he'd left, he wanted to come back.
Yeah.
Because, yourself, Ben, Stacey, Sam, Froggy, probably not listening, but, people over the years that I've got to know, there's so many of them. You just drop into chat and you can just talk about anything, whether it don't have to be the game.
No, it very rarely
like
is.
Like I say, there's relationships made. I mean, not very often known, but Tapman, who doesn't play anymore, Skew Crew is back playing. They're living together with a little girl now.
Oh wow!
They're in Wales, and they met on Elder Scrolls, as did Hayley and Adam Olatu, and potentially there are others, but I'll not mention. Because we don't know where that one will end up, do we? And I might get shouted at later. But hey-ho, I don't mind. I'm sat in a room with nobody else, and they can't get to me.
Fine. Yeah.
And they can't kick me from my own guild anyway, so it works for me.
You have the power.
I have the power. I don't use it very often. I think I've only ever, apart from people that don't play, for, if you want to say being offensive, obnoxious and things like that, and we've had a few, I think I've only actually kicked about 3 or 4 people.
Really? God, I thought it would have been more than that by now.
Yeah, Celine's probably done a few, but...
I definitely can believe that.
Yeah, and Sam's always chomping at the bit. Now, you see, I can't see what he's writing or anything like that, so I can only just see your face. So...
We've got... what have we got here? So we've had... Dan Anderson said, Andy, how can you be 80 plus? You look 30. That's very nice.
Thank you.
Isn't it? Combat Wombat, also known as Bieber. I spy a fine single malt there. Well spotted. Apparently, I need an extra large for extra lanky. That's very true. Svetlana says, hey, boss man.
Svetlana.
Bieber waves at Stacey. Christopher says, more like a family and a community. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Some hearts from Danielle. Stacey says, Sam loves to kick people.
He does.
Everyone's got to have a hobby.
He's chomping. As soon as somebody says something out of line, can I kick him? Can I kick him? Can I kick him?
Anthony just said, it's fun to bring out the banhammer.
Yeah. I've not brought that out for a long time. Oh, I'll have to post that on the page, on the group, on Facebook.
So when we were talking about, say, for example, Ben leaving the guild, as a lot of people do. Like some people leave just to take a break. But I think like any point in life where you have a large group of people, you will get, especially something of this nature, you will get troublemakers. And you do get your fair share of arseholes, don't you? Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yes.
And it can...
You really want me to comment?
Oh, we may as well go down that wonderful golden windy road.
There have been some challenging people, shall we say, and some of them have been lovely but challenging, and some of them have just been downright obnoxious so far up their own backside, challenging. We've gone from one guy was verbally abusing his girlfriend to the point where she left him and went home to Australia.
Wow.
And I still had to kick him because he wouldn't shut up. Then there's others that a bit of banter's okay. I mean, it's very difficult to offend me. I don't know why, but it just is.
Right, everyone. So the challenge for today, to win an extra large T-shirt, see if you can offend Andy.
Yeah,
go crazy. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, like I say, I can't see what they're writing, so it don't matter. But no.
I can tell you.
Banter's all good and well, and I can sink through the gutter into the sewer whenever. I just don't very often, unless there's a few more of these. But some people just don't know when to stop.
No.
Because there are some people knocking about that are more vulnerable. They're more anxious, nervous.
I just squashed a fly on my forehead.
Excellent.
How grim is that? Look, there it is.
Yeah. It'll drown on mine because I'm melting in here. Now I've had to shut the window.
Sorry, I appreciate your suffering for the good of the masses.
No, it's not the good of the masses. It's the good of me. If there is a swarm of bees around here, I don't want them in here with me.
Yeah, how's this for a story? This can only happen up north. You had to deal with an entire swarm of bees?
Oh, not an entire. There was about 30. A couple of weeks ago on the Friday, I was in the kitchen, strangely enough, baking bread. There's a go. And I could hear a buzzing noise. And I'm not too keen on bees because I might have a bit of a reaction here and there.
Oh, that's not good.
And so it was a case of, oh, you look a bit dopey, I'll guide you out the window. And oh, there's another one. And there's another one. And oh, hang on, there's a couple more. Why are they coming from under the kitchen units? And I think over probably an hour or so, there must have been 30 or 40 bees coming out from under the kitchen units. I'm just guiding them out the window. And there's loads of bees outside. So they must have been getting in through an air brick somewhere.
Right.
And then out under the floor, under a gap in the floorboards, under the kitchen units where the wires and cables and everything come out. And then just finding the way out covered in dust and garbage and everything. And just fortunately a bit dopey, but it just seemed to be an ongoing thing, shoving them out the window. But that was preempted slightly by somebody in the village putting on a Facebook group about, does anybody know anything about bees? There appears to be a swarm. And I thought, oh, well, that probably explains it then. And just before I came up here tonight, same thing. Does anybody know how to deal with a swarm of bees in the village? I thought, oh, here we go again. Get the windows shut.
It's like the birds, but on a smaller scale.
Yeah, smaller scale. Yeah, but yeah, it's entertainment. It's a bit different.
Bees and bread, the northern way.
Now you know I can bake bread. So no, I don't take orders.
Yep, Svetlana's just said, boss man baking bread, lots of hearts.
I prefer the drinking whiskey, to be honest.
Oh, you're almost a living stereotype.
Bakes bread, drinks whiskey. No, that's not a stereotype of anything. If I start saying how much,
guides bees.
Yeah.
So what were we going to talk about? I lost my train of thought. Got distracted by bees. Andy, I think you are confusing this bee experience with a quest in Skyrim.
Yes.
Would be surprising.
There is. It's a long time since I've played Skyrim, but yes.
God, yeah, many moons ago. Yes, we were talking about interesting individuals. Do you think, is there something, is it just in human nature, or is it something to do with the nature of gamers, where you get different types of gamers, don't you? You get the ones who are, and I think I chatted to you before. Do you think sort of the way people game kind of reflects the way they are in real life? So you've got some people who have to be the best. They will grind to the ends of the earth and have to be absolutely top at everything. Then you've got the people who are just like a nice, chilled out, relaxed kind of thing. Then you've got some people who are obnoxious and arrogant and don't want to listen to anybody else. Do you think?
I think predominantly, yes. People do, and people who are naturally quiet will be naturally quiet. But then there's others that seek attention.
Mm.
So they will, throw everything out there. I've done this, I'm doing this. Congratulations. Crack on.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time, you'll find that if you have people that are helpful in real life, will be helpful. Even if they're not necessarily confident enough in real life, it's a game.
Yeah.
So that can sort of like develop some confidence, possibly. So
yeah,
if you can basically take that step in the game, I'm not a philosopher or a psychiatrist or anything like that. I think I should have been running a guild in this game.
Get some beard growing. Come on, so you can just sit and go.
Yeah, yeah, I can't do that. It's can't last more than 2 days without a shave. Does me head in.
Really? Or does it get all itchy and everything?
Yeah. It's like wire wool. It's not silky smooth. I mean, this stuff's thick enough. Come on.
It's good for cleaning your saucepans out, though.
Yeah. Get my face in there. Yeah, I won't be doing that. But yeah, it does. I think it's great because sitting there is, yes, it's my guild, so people, I don't know, some people seem scared to talk to me, and to me, I'm the most approachable person in the world.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But I've played other games, and even in Destiny, the guy who started it off, he was fine and approachable. So I got on with him. I basically went in, took over the website. But a couple of the officers that he had were absolute control freaks.
Mm.
And basically, I just said afterwards that I would never join another. So I've been in other games as well, but I said I would never join another guild that took everything so serious as that. I wanted something to be relaxed.
Yeah.
If we have to, you have to concentrate. There's some things you've got to learn, you've got to get better. You've got to recognise your own limits, because not everybody does.
Yeah.
But it gets there. And so I think it does bring people's natural selves out, but I think it also helps some people.
I would say
get a little bit more. I mean, there's some people. I mean, Ben. Again, we mentioned Ben. There were two of us running grown-ups at the time, myself and Connor, who's most famous for running into a room and shouting "shit the bed" because there's something big and nasty in it. He don't play now. He's a policeman. Some misguided idea, career, but
we all make mistakes.
Yeah, and Ben wasn't confident enough, but he wanted to get involved. He wanted to take that step, but he wasn't confident enough to use a microphone. Obviously, he had a speech impediment. So I ended up sat on a half-hour Skype call with him, but just said, crack on. You're the person who recognises you. It's not a problem to me.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I don't care your nationality. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what gender you are. If you want to go on, have a good time and play the game, join in. If anybody starts taking the mickey, it's easy. They're out.
Yeah.
I'd love some peace and quiet.
Yeah, I have noticed, sort of from like playing various games, and I haven't been in many. To be honest, Grown Ups is the only guild I've really been in. But just listening to the chat from other people, and Grown Ups does seem to be much more. But again, maybe it's because it's aimed at grown-ups gaming, so therefore it's for grown-ups mainly. But there does seem to be a much more accepting and a decent attitude to other people than a lot of guilds and a lot of other playing groups that I've heard.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something special about it.
And I've kind of got to say thanks on a more public stage to people like, I'll give them the other names, Charlie Echo, so Celine, Ben, as in Dark Clown, Sam, Lionheart, because they've not always agreed with what I've said or what I want, or I'm far too tolerant for my own good. So you've got to say thanks.
Comment.
I am. I'd like to give people a chance, a second chance maybe. Third and fourth might be pushing it, but there's always a reason, whether it's misunderstanding, whether it's a language issue. There's a lot of people. It's scary when you start asking how many languages people speak, because I'm English. I struggle with English.
I was going to say, we can barely deal with just the one.
Yeah. And then you get, and I think it's Fluxus, who can speak about 8 or 9 languages.
That's just greedy.
It's just wrong. What our education system's obviously flawed.
How does he find the time? Does he not sleep?
It's something like that. But yeah, you speak to, and Dan is there, who loves taking the mickey, telling me I'm 80, and I'm never sending him any Yorkshire Gold tea, even though that's what he likes. So if he's listening still, his English amazing. Most people, they come on, you can tell they're not English
because they can speak properly.
But yeah, basically they speak clearer.
Yeah,
which is strange. And then you've got the Scots, which I'm not sure if there's any of them listening now, but again, there's Breakfast John, as we'd call him, because all his characters are named after breakfast.
Fantastic.
He can throw out some Swedish. Where does that come from? So there's some great people that do great things, but the different languages, the translation, the speed that people can translate English to whatever to their own language or back again. I'd be on Google Translate, so you'd be waiting for me for ages.
Yeah, it's one of those things that with some languages, in German, I can ask where the toilet is and ask for no salad, and order a small blue chimpanzee. But what use that is in McDonald's, I am not sure.
Yeah, I can usually manage to order a drink.
Yeah, the important stuff.
Yeah.
You can order a drink, and you can ask where you go to get rid of it as well.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Exactly.
But that's normally sign language, as in the signs on the wall.
Yeah.
Not the signs that you'd be doing. Playing windmills.
Crossing my legs and shit. But one of the things, as you were saying about all the sort of the different people, it must be so difficult. Do you find it hard to not get involved because you're working with, or you're not in charge of, because obviously there's no such thing as being in charge of that kind of situation. But when you've got so many complex individuals, and it's a huge boiling pot, isn't it, of people with so many differences, and how do you know where to draw the line between getting involved and not getting involved?
I don't. I kind of wing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have thrown the odd hissy fit here and there.
I've read them.
I've thrown verbal ones. I've come close to deleting the guild. It happens, but like I say, I'm tolerant. But there's got to be a point where if I think somebody might be getting offended, then you kind of have to step in and just say, look, just reel it in a bit.
Yeah.
I might be easy to offend, but there's some people that, but then again, there's some people who'll take it way beyond I would in a conversation. Just won't offend me, but I wouldn't go there.
Yeah. But that's the problem, isn't it? It's just such a constant juggling act between all the different levels of what people find acceptable.
Yeah.
And you can't please everybody, can you? So
no, and it's kind of trying to say to people, okay, I've got this tolerance, I can go there, but I don't. Because there's a strong chance that some things that I might say or do could offend people. Now, some people don't care if they offend people or not. It's, I'm me, that's it. Well,
yeah.
To a point, yes. Occasionally, you just have to say, just slow it down a bit. And just, if you do it in a polite manner, there's no, I don't have to swear at somebody just to get them to listen. Most people will do it because the guild's worth being in.
Yeah.
But when you said it's not a job, it is a job.
Yeah, I know.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but it sometimes feels like it is, because I feel like I've got to log in every day.
Yeah, because for you, I suppose there's a hell of a lot of commitment, isn't there, now that goes into something like this?
More than I'd ever thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never run a guild before. I've had the ideas. I've been involved in guilds before, but I've never started one, and I've never had to build one up. And I've got people coming in and say, oh, you need to create a structure with some officers. Okay, then I need to find some people I can trust, which I've been successful. Then, well, what about others? Then other people come in and just say, all right, how do I access the guild bank? Yeah, you're not. If you ask, oh, how much am I going to have to donate to access the guild bank? It doesn't matter. You haven't got enough gold if you want to do it that way.
Yeah.
At the moment, it doesn't matter. It's a free-for-all because people only put garbage in there. But, in the past, some people take it themselves so seriously, and the game so seriously. It's relaxation.
Yeah. Again, it's that competitive streak, isn't it, in some human beings that they can't see it.
I've played other games. One of the Total War games when it first went online, it was only 1v1. But it was like you've got an army of 10,000 assaulting a city, and the other person was very gung-ho, was American. Basically, he just wanted me to charge up at these walls. No, I'm going to stand here and throw trebuchets, throw rocks and flames at you. And he got really irate. He got exceedingly irate. He was coming over to Europe to find me.
Oh, what?
And I just said, well, there's two things. One, do you know where Europe is? Two, have you got a passport? Because I honestly don't think he did, because he probably couldn't find his way out of his own state. But, some people get so wound up. There's people in Elder Scrolls do it.
Yeah.
There is a certain player who can probably be found in the Imperial City at some point, who was very serious about blowing people up. Crack on. If you enjoy it, do it.
But again, it's just the attitude that comes with
However,
it, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll not get into grown-ups.
No.
Because,
They're just there's such a big ego that goes along with the people who are that intent that if they lose for any particular reason, then it's just all out chaos on their part.
Yeah. They take it far too seriously. They need to get a real life.
Do you think that's partly what it is, though? A lot of people don't, when all they've got is gaming.
It is, and I should kind of retract that a little bit, because for some people, it is all they've got. It's all they can do. It's like, not all they can do, but if they're, say, Ben, again, we'll go back to Ben, who we lost last year. Ben was in a wheelchair. He wasn't going to go out for a run. He wasn't going to go out and do a job. So his life was spent gaming.
Yeah.
And he got, satisfaction out of that, which is great. But if I spent all my life gaming, what would I do? I'd lose my job, for one. And I kind of need that because the money pays for the gaming.
That's true.
There's the odd other hobby, like making bread occasionally.
Mm-hmm. And another hobby that's
and obviously the painting stuff.
Yeah, we're going to come to that in a minute.
Yeah, I thought we might somehow.
Yeah.
So most people out there know it exists because they've been following the one a day in May thing.
We've heard legends.
Yeah, they've seen it. It's not that good, but yeah, I think that there's people that spend too much time playing the game and getting far too wound up about it that it kind of spills over into their reactions with people.
It sort of becomes personal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's like...
I mean, apparently I've offended some people. Some people don't like me.
Surely not. Heavens to
I know,
Betsy.
shocking. What have I ever done to make people not like me? I cannot imagine.
Is this Ben Griffiths? Is that who it is?
No.
Well, he said sorry, Chief, for something earlier. So
no, that man's a saint.
He is. So, we love you, Ben.
Yes, and I am looking forward to a pint after the social restrictions and everything's gone out of the way. So we'll be meeting up for a pint somewhere.
Well, he came down for my birthday, for my 40th.
Yes,
so
he did.
This is the kind of thing that gaming can do, people. So Ben lives in sort of, it was north
Rill. Somewhere around Rill, I think.
Yeah, and he travelled all that way down for my birthday. So thank you, Ben. That was very lovely of you. Woohoo! He just said. That probably was something to do with what you were talking about. There's a delay, so it wasn't what I just said. He'll just message back saying, I just got lost on the motorway, mate. But I
just thought the name looked familiar.
Yeah, exactly. But do you think it's kind of the way when people start taking offence to things in games? It's when, I think it's like a lot of things in life, isn't it? When the thing they do becomes part of their personality and their identity, they find it hard to separate it out. So that anything you do in game to them, it's literally an attack of who they are.
For some people, yes. Yeah, we've met a few people like that. And I still fail to understand it. But
yeah.
As I said before, I'm just an ordinary bloke who enjoys playing games and enjoys a drink and, talking to people.
I wish we could have that in a Hollywood voice. Just an ordinary bloke who plays games, enjoys a drink.
Who's it going to be? Can't think who could say it. Dickie Bird, probably.
Yeah. That'd be great. But if you hadn't, would you now, knowing what you know about running a guild?
I knew this one would come in.
Of course. Do you think I'm going to let you get away without it? So, with all the ups and all the downs, all the highs and the lows and the rich tapestry of guild life, would you do it all again?
Yes, but I'd do it differently.
Ooh.
And that's different to what I've said before, because before I've said no.
Right, get comfy, everyone. Let's hear this. Right, you ready?
No, there wouldn't be as many people in the guild.
That's actually a really good thing. Do you think
it's too big to be social?
Yeah.
So because it's not, I'd be a lot happier. Although it's nice that they all put money in the guild bank so we can get a trader and things like that. Well, a lot of them do. Some people I've never spoken to. Some people haven't got a clue who I am, which I don't mind. That's fine. I really don't mind.
Well, after this, at least 2 more people might know who you are.
You never know, yeah. But it's one of these things where it's got so big, it's not social anymore. There's a group over here and there's a group over there and there's another group over there in the PSN chat. So it's kind of gone from talking to people is like being deafening sometimes in the game, where there's been so many people in the chat you can't get a word in edgeways, to now, if I drop in voice chat, or up to this week, if I've dropped in voice chat 1, there's nobody there. Voice chat 2, there's nobody there. Voice chat 3, that's where I used to hide. There's nobody there. Well, now there's a couple of people come back who've not played for a couple of years. They weren't part of Grown Ups before, but they've joined now. Straight in voice chat 1. So this is sort of like from 2 years ago. It's changed over the last couple of years, where people are, they form the friends, friend groups, they play at the same time. So to avoid the noise of the voice chat, they create their own little group, a PSN party or whatever.
Yeah.
But in doing that, it's kind of taking a lot of the social element away.
Because I remember when I joined, and that must have been, I think it was nearly 5 years ago. So it's been a fair while since when I first met my girlfriend, because I basically spend all time gaming and not speaking to her, which was...
Sorry, Carrie.
Sorry, Carrie. But yeah, and I remember sort of in the early days, which was one of the things that really attracted me to the guild, because I was recommended by a friend of mine. And it was the fact that everybody seemed to know everybody. Everybody was regularly chatting to each other. It was such a social occasion.
Yeah.
And it was just really nice. It was really pleasant. Yes, you had the odd problem now and then. But as you say, as it's just got bigger, I mean, I don't recognise anybody.
Yeah, well, I don't. Well, I do recognise some, but obviously I recognise a lot of names. But occasionally I'm going, who's that? Don't know them. Hold on, have they changed the PSN?
Yeah.
You know, some people have changed the PlayStation names because you can do that now, which is sometimes confusing.
We don't like change. Creates problems.
Well, I don't know, sometimes. I'm not changing mine. I've been Zerodragon for way too long.
Yeah. You're an institution now. You're not allowed.
I ought to be in an institution, you mean? So yeah, it's too big. So yes, I would do it again. I would be more selective, and I would kick more people.
Yeah.
So that's Sam's jumping up and down and cheering now if he's still listening. Thought so. So yeah, I'd want to create it more social.
Yeah.
Whether we had a trader or not would be irrelevant now. I wanted one before to get the name, so people would see the name around Tamriel more. But now, even though it is a good one, and you know we do quite well out of it, I'd sacrifice that to have the social element back that we used to have 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. And Samuel's just said, kick them all.
Yeah.
Start there. Just kick everyone out. Start again.
Everyone. Right. So just a minute. I'll just turn the PlayStation on. It's just next to me.
There we go, everyone. If you get a little message or
Lionheart SW.
Yeah.
What off?
But yeah, no, I do miss it. I do miss the way it used to be. But I think it's like anything, isn't it? As most things, when they're kept to a sort of certain size with groups of people, it's far more intimate. And then it sounds like I'm talking about some random sex party here. Yeah, when there's only a few people, it's more intimate. But as soon as there's loads of people involved, it's just a mess.
I think as well as that earlier, a lot of people were coming from Skyrim. Played solo from Skyrim, and they didn't know the game. Skyrim, some people came, and that had been their first game ever they'd played.
Yeah.
You know, and I find it strange because I've played since long time ago, 70-something, before a lot of people that are in the guild were born, which is scary. So they were coming sort of like 30, 40, some of them 50-year-old, and they'd only played Skyrim, but they knew the idea of Tamriel. This was sort of so many hundred years before Skyrim was set. So they knew what to expect, but they didn't really know what the MMO bit was. But they were interested in learning.
Yeah.
Because Skyrim's not a game you can just pick up and smash out. Well, it probably is now, but I think the second one, when the price went down, after a couple of years, the price has started to drop. I think then you start getting the people, especially on consoles, because games come out so rapidly. I think people were coming in, right, I want to smash it. There's something else coming out in a month's time. I want to get this one out of the way. And they don't interact. They just bang in, right, who's going to help me with this? I need to do this now.
Yeah.
And somebody comes in and does that. My first instinct is to say, find somebody else.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have someone in the guild who's going to play for a couple of years or 3 years, or sadly, like I have, nearly 5 years. But then I looked at it another way, is that you look at and this is an age thing. I've played nearly 5 years, so I would have been 50 when the game came out. So to me, 5 years isn't a vast percentage of my life.
No, that's true.
But if someone was 18 when the game came out, or 16, 5 years is a huge chunk of their life.
And an important sort of area of their life as well, I suppose. So
they're suddenly inundated with all these good games. So you can't really expect them to give 5 years to one game, which is a mistake I made at the start because I'm thinking, God, I'm going to be playing this for ages. And I couldn't understand people just wanting to, and I still don't really understand people that just want to come in, they're on, right, I want this, I'm going to get it. And they miss out on so much.
Yeah.
Not just the social side of it, but the game itself.
Well, it's just so vast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Compared to what it went from to what it is now is just astounding, really.
It's ridiculous. And people do a lot of complaining as well about it. And I kind of think of the games that used to glitch that I used to play when they used to be on floppy disks and things like that. Yeah. And so I'm there thinking, stop complaining, because what you've got is thousands and thousands of times better than what I grew up playing.
Don't even know you're born, lad.
Don't know that's born.
Aye.
I prefer it in a Yorkshire accent. So yeah, there's lots of different things. I just prefer just to sit back and say, yeah, okay. I will make more of an effort at some point. So I've been discussing this, that I need to get some achievements done. But
yeah, but again, is that you get sort of the more sort of elite kind of people who just want to go in, just get all the top stuff, all the like you say.
But there's a point you get. I mean, I've got 18 characters on the EU server.
Did you hear that, everyone?
9 on the North American server, and a few dabbled on PC. But mainly, obviously, 90% of my time's on the EU server on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But there's a point where you've got to say, well, they've all done virtually the same things. So if I pick one of them, what am I going to do on it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to need to, so where do I go? So you kind of pick one of them that you think is going to do the most, going to be more successful. Right, I'm going to have a look at a list, see what their achievements they've left to do. Oh my God, there's tons. How have I not seen all these in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
So there is something for me to do.
Yeah.
So, which is encouraging, because when you sit on a horse and ride around in a circle for an hour, you start thinking, should I really be doing this? Should I be more gainfully engaged?
Yeah. Should I have some kind of a more work ethic towards this kind of thing? Yes. We just had Ben's just asked, Andy, do you think ESO is heading Destiny way?
Not quite, no, because there's new things coming out that the map's got to be filled. Whereas I think Destiny went more of the same. There was no great lore behind Destiny. There's no great storyline behind Destiny. I mean, I carried on playing it longer than most of the grown-ups that were in the clan.
Yeah.
So I kind of crossed over a bit with ESO, because at first I played ESO beta on PC and I wasn't going to get it. But then some people persuaded me, and thanks very much for deserting me since. But
condemning you to this life you now live.
Yeah, on Destiny, I ended up randomly grouping with these 2 guys, because you used to have a fire team of 3, 2 prison officers from somewhere down your way, don't know exactly. And one day we'd played probably 2 or 3 nights a week, and we did something, and then all 3 of us kind of just wandered off in different directions at the end of the raid that we were doing.
Yeah.
And none of us played again.
Oh, right.
So it was a case of, what's going off? Like, there's no what to do. It has really, even repeating some quests. I mean, I go in and repeat a trial. I'm quite happy to do that in Elder Scrolls. But on Destiny, I think there wasn't the variety.
Yeah.
But there wasn't the new people either. It's kind of new people coming in that keeps Elder Scrolls interesting for me.
Can you do one thing for me? I've just noticed where it's starting to get dark at your end, the back of your chair, can you just drop down just very slightly? Please humour me.
Would you like me to turn the light up a bit?
No. Please just drop down slightly.
Is that better?
Yeah, because now what you look... Do you remember the film Spaceballs? You now look like Rick Moranis as Darth Vader with the huge hat behind you.
I'm going to have a look now. Just a minute. Oh, excellent.
It looks great.
What's the word I'm looking for? I'm certain, doesn't it? Go on, to keep you happy, I'll say something like this. Slouched. Bad posture and all that.
Make my dreams come true. Right, one of the other things we wanted to talk about, because we talked for nearly 50 minutes.
I know.
It's crazy.
Scary.
Is what you're into music-wise, because many times during our guild chats and everything, we'd get talking about music, and then you'd regale me and everyone else with stories of concerts that we all wish we'd gone to.
Yeah.
That we love to hate you for.
Yes, and I kind of don't think of the age thing again, because some of you, and you know I've got these because you've seen this, because one of my favourite bands is Queen, and kind of still is, and yeah, I saw them with Freddie on 3 different tours, just to relate a bit more.
Such an ass.
But the only way to get tickets back then, if early access, wasn't to have an American Express card or anything like that. You had to join fan clubs. So things like this still exist.
Oh, Brian, you handsome devil, you.
Same hair though, isn't it? You know, that is scary.
Oh yeah,
it's
nothing's
just a different
changed.
Colour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's nothing. I love live music as it was then, and somebody once asked me to list my top 10 concerts, and I can't. It's not possible, because one day I'll say this. The one that'll always stay will be Queen at Elland Road with the flash, dun 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 dun.
Oh, excellent!
And then it just explodes, and they come running on stage, and it's a case of, and you go nuts. You know, unfortunately, as far as I know, I've been looking. As far as I know, there's no video of that.
Really?
I mean, we're 82, yeah. So, and it was just before I did my A levels, so I wasn't quite 18.
Right.
But I can still remember it, and I can still remember the support bands. Things like, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, they were amazing.
Yeah.
Heart were amazing.
Oh, you saw Heart as well?
Yeah, they were a support band then. The one thing with Queen is for some reason they'd like to put a strange support band in.
Right.
So they stuck Teardrop Explodes in.
Who?
Teardrop Explodes.
Don't know that one. Okay, I will.
No, all hair and makeup, very new romantic-y type. Don't exactly fit in with the denim and leather clad long hair, beer swilling concert goers normally going to a rock concert. Evidence that one, it was at Elland Road. I can still see the Teardrop Explodes fans walking round, looking for somewhere where they might dare to sit down without being growled at.
Sounds like what was it? Bad News when they played Donington.
Yeah, basically. But then Teardrop Explodes came on. The lead singer's there, instantly starts insulting the audience.
Brilliant, well done.
In the crowd. So they didn't last long because there were some bottles of some yellowy coloured liquid flew towards the stage, and they were very accurately thrown.
Lucozade, probably.
Yeah, I was thinking the rather insipid beer they were serving, but the lager. But again, later at the NEC they had Working Week supporting them, and it actually drove me to the bar, the beer was very expensive and very warm.
Nothing's changed.
No, it hasn't. But Working Week were basically what came out of Funboy 3, another band you've probably never heard of.
I've heard the name.
That's scary.
Oh, I've heard the name. Give me credit.
Right, fair enough. And the last time I saw them with Freddie, they'd got Status Quo were a support band.
Really?
Cracking support band. And Balooey Sum.
Balooey Sum.
All I can remember is he had very bleached blonde hair, short hair, and he had a hit.
Sounds like Chesney Hawkes.
They weren't, trust me, One and Only was far better than whatever song Balooey Sum sang, because I can remember that one.
Oh dear.
So, and I know we were talking earlier about, I couldn't remember a lot of, and this is not a memory loss before you lot all jump on the bandwagon. Because they will do, I know they will.
I'll let you know as soon as they do.
Yeah, I thought you would. It's sort of like, when I was sort of like 17, 18, 19, there were so many bands and there were so many concerts. And it was cheap. Well, I say cheap relatively. £3.25 to go and see Iron Maiden at Sheffield City Hall.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't even want to think what it cost me to see them at Sheffield Arena a couple of years ago.
I'm trying to think what I paid when I saw them.
But
it wasn't cheap.
I was trying to think about the bands that I've seen, and I know I've missed a few. And as I said, Simon, if he ever sees this, he said in your stream Wednesday last week, just an off the cuff thing. Does anybody remember a band called Y&T?
Mm.
Yes, they played Sheffield City Hall. I remember it, and from that I started writing them down earlier, and it's kind of gone. It's gone a bit mental because I haven't got them all, but I know I've turned the light off, so you can't see many of them.
I can see it.
Yeah, Iron Maiden a couple of times, Judas Priest, Whitesnake a few times, Black Sabbath, Dio, Crocus.
Crocus? God, I remember that name.
Yeah, Magnum several times, including at Retford Slaughterhouse nightclub. Sorry,
Really?
Porterhouse. Yeah. Yeah, where one of their, I can't remember the support. Oh, they had the Bailey Brothers disco as a support once there. That was amazing. Yeah, very. But they also had a support band where the lead singer looked like a very tall Barry Manilow, but the roof was too low where the stage was.
Excellent.
So he had to sort of like, he was so spread eagled to keep his head down out of the lights. It was ridiculous. Great. But then Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
At Round Park, they had George Thorogood, Jay Giles band. George Thorogood were amazing. I'd never really listened to anything up to that point.
Is that George Thorogood and the Destroyers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Meatloaf.
Are you a Meatloaf fan?
I was.
What killed it for you? What destroyed the loaf?
Well, it wasn't actually. It's the only concert I've actually walked out of before the end.
Really?
And it was out of boredom.
Oh.
It was the tour when he'd fallen out with Jim Steinman.
Ah.
And I love guitar music. I love people playing guitar. I can listen to it all day long. I can dream that I could play it. I can strangle a tune out occasionally, but that's about it. But every song had a guitar solo, which was a long guitar solo.
Oh, right.
And on the second encore, I was kind of sat down there and I looked at my watch and I thought, if we leave now, we just have to stroll down to the train to get the last train as opposed to running like a set of nutters and dodging skinheads. So it's the only one I've walked out of. But there's Metallica, Green Day, and seen them again when they've come back.
God, you've seen all the big ones, haven't you?
Scorpions, Michael Schenker Group, Judy Tsook.
Who?
There you go. I think she had about one hit, but everybody seemed to like her because she got long blonde wavy hair. Look it up. Judy Tsook, TZUKE, Stay With Me Till Dawn.
Okay.
You would have done. Rainbow, Slade, great party band.
Yeah.
Not been to see him since Noddy stopped touring though.
Oh no, what's the point? Noddy was fantastic.
Yeah. Van Morrison.
How was that?
Strange.
Yeah?
Yeah, he kept wandering off stage and leaving, I think it was Brian Kennedy with us, the other vocalist he had.
Right.
He'd just randomly walk off stage and then he'd walk back on and sing a bit more. It was a good concert, don't get me wrong, but it was a strange one, yeah. Diamond Head, Motley Crue, Ted Nugent.
How was Ted? Was that
loud?
What year was that?
That'd be Cat Scratch Fever year. Not Cat Scratch. Oh, what's it called? I could see the album cover. I can't think which.
So it was quite early Nugent, wasn't it?
It was early to mid '80s.
Yeah.
So Scream Dream album tour.
That's still where he's like shouting on stage about how he wants to hump pretty much everything that moves.
Basically, yeah, basically, or shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or both.
Yes.
In whichever order.
Yeah, whichever order. So Gary Moore, Blackfoot, was it Pat Benatar?
Ah.
I would go and see her again.
Yeah.
Just went all the way to Birmingham to see her, and all we could see was the hair and the black jacket and the red leather miniskirt, and we could hear her perfectly because she's got an amazing voice. But I'd like to go and see her in a different venue because she still tours a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't. She'll be in her 60s now, probably.
Yeah, Sophie's just said she loves her.
Yeah. So that's all the sort of the 80s, and there are some I've missed out. I know there are. And when I find that little envelope I can't find that's got all the old tickets in, because I'm really irritated. Obviously, Bruce Springsteen.
Of course.
Yeah, that's proper take a picnic concert, 4 hours at a time. There's been loads. There's been a few random ones. Well, we said before we started, I'll listen to anybody who can tell a story.
Yeah.
So James Taylor.
Yeah.
Like James Taylor. What was something other random ones? Lindisfarne.
Oh, really?
Fog on the Tyne.
Oh God, yeah, I have memories of that song.
Yeah, they played our local one of our local cinemas, so I had to go just for that song.
Yeah, it's an amazing song.
Yeah,
so funny.
Ben Taylor, who's James Taylor's son.
Ah.
In fact, there's a challenge for you. Look up Ben Taylor, Wicked Way.
Ben Taylor, Wicked Way.
Wicked Way, and that is one for one of your Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's lyrics to suit you totally.
Is it about a bald bastard?
No, it's all about taking somebody out and getting them drunk so he can have his wicked way with them.
Are you saying I'm a date rapist? Is
Not
that what you're
necessarily.
saying?
The lyrics would suit your sense of humour.
Okay, I will have a listen. Oh, Dan Anson said, have you seen Bob Marley?
No.
No?
There was a slight death problem there.
How inconvenient.
Yes. There's a few people I would love to have seen. I've never saw Phil Lynott in Thin Lizzy.
Oh, shit.
I had tickets and I was ill. And months later he was dead. So, there's a few that I'd like to have seen but never did.
So what was your first concert?
That would have been... The first band I saw was Iron Maiden as a support band.
Oh, wow.
With Paul Di'Anno on vocals, so before Bruce Dickinson joined.
Yeah.
So that's supporting Judas Priest.
God.
So that's very early 1980.
Yeah, because that was Was that when the first... Yeah, it must have been their first album out, wasn't it? Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
God.
I still got it on vinyl somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, if you're going to have vinyl, you've got to have Iron Maiden vinyl.
Yeah. Got quite a bit. I kind of regret selling a lot of vinyl when I did, so I promptly bought most of it back.
Good, well done.
Now I've got decent stuff to play it on. There's do with them. There's others. I'm more up to date. I've seen. There's kind of a weird gap in the middle, but then Metallica came back and Green Day have come back.
Yeah.
So Panic at the Disco, which was excellent. That was Jasmine. One that some people go, you what, was My Chemical Romance.
I can imagine they put on a good show, though.
They did with the Black Parade album, because they did the album from start to finish, and I really, really liked that album. There was a lot of Queen in there, a lot of Brian May guitar type stuff in there, and he'd came on stage and played with them once, not when I were there, unfortunately. And then later that year, they did a normal tour, and they were okay, average,
grindingly mediocre.
Yeah, they just weren't. They weren't as together. They weren't as impressive.
Oh, Dan Anderson said just Mozart was your first. He's lying.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to get kicked, really, aren't they?
Yeah. And Mr. Griffiths has just said, have you seen Slayer?
Yes. Again, in the middle with all the others. And Megadeth.
Oh, God, you've seen... See, this is what...
I think I was born at the right time.
Just a tad.
Just a tad, yes.
Yeah.
So, and then it was, there was no internet. So yeah, I'm giving some age away. So to get tickets, you had to either sit on a phone or you had to go queue at the box office. And
Morse
I've
code,
been there.
send telegrams and all that.
Yeah, send a check. It's a check. There's some people actually that they're going to say a check. What's one of them? I've never had one.
For anyone who doesn't know what a check is, look it up on Wikipedia. There's a whole host of different payment methods that you've missed.
Yeah, like cash.
Yeah,
I'm quite happy to take cash. So there's loads. There's so many bands that I've seen that you're going to forget about, but there's a lot that I've not seen.
Yeah.
That I would. I listen to so much different music. Quite randomly, one I would love to see is Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. the not it's not so the image. It's not always. I mean, he writes amazing songs. That's how he got himself out of trouble. He wrote songs for people, but he's just so laid back.
Was Willie Nelson? Describe him to me. I know that.
Looks like an old Indian now. He was very smart in the 50s apparently, but he's got long grey plaits. He's chasing up 90 now, I think.
Really? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And he's got this guitar that he calls Trigger, that he says as long as they can keep Trigger going, he'll keep playing.
Yeah.
And this guitar it's an old classical guitar with acoustic strings and an acoustic pickup, and he's worn a second sound hole in it with his pick. But he's just got this way of playing and communicating.
I think that guitar is probably about the same condition as Lenin's corpse in Moscow. They just keep getting it out every year, just re-embalm it, chuck it back in, and just hope it carries on. There's
videos on YouTube of the guy that does it, that repairs it and keeps it going.
God,
it's just one of those things. I did go and see Bob Dylan. That's the only one I regret going to.
Really?
Because that was
Shite.
Garbage. Absolutely. Early Dylan, fine, no problem.
Yeah.
It was the most. I mean, some people did walk out, but at 60 quid a ticket.
You kind of feel like you want to get your money's worth.
Kind of want to feel, yeah, but I didn't recognise a song till about the fourth one.
Oh, right.
It may as well have been thrash metal. Cause,
was this when he actually when he went more electric and...
Well, he's very electric. It's only, what would it be? About 2005, 2006.
Oh, so it's a lot later on, yeah.
Yeah, it was a very self-involved. It was him and his band in a sort of like a semicircle, and he faced the band most of the time.
Oh, that's charming.
And I'm not going to try and do an impersonation of him because it was just like not quite a shouted monotone, gravelly, can't really tell what you're saying, mate.
He used to be sort of like, and then he's like,
yeah, basically. But there was no, say, fourth song when I recognised, and he spoke to the audience just before Blowing in the Wind.
Oh, right.
Which was the final song.
Oh, that was nice of him.
And out there going, I paid 60 quid to sit for this.
I paid 60 quid to look at your back.
Yeah, basically.
You could do that with a prostitute.
Yeah. And I greatly regret actually buying a T-shirt, but I think I've only worn it once, and that was out in the garden doing some gardening.
Yeah. Just wipe your bum with it one day if you run out of toilet roll, just to make a statement.
Yeah. Well, we could have had to do things like that recently, couldn't we? But you know, but no. But yeah, there's still concerts to go to. Like I said, I've got tickets for Elton John's final ever concert.
If it happens.
I'm not the biggest Elton John fan, but it's a decent show. It's a good show, and I do like some of the earlier stuff. So that depends if he's got his teeth in and things like that.
Sing "Candle in the Wind" and fwang.
Yeah. I don't. Well, it's probably in Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. It's a bit louder, isn't it? And a bit livelier.
For fighting.
Saturday Night for Fighting.
Oh dear.
Absolutely insane.
Ben's just said, have you seen the Wurzels?
No, but I wish I had.
I know Ben has.
Oh, I'd say I'm jealous now.
I think Ben has. I'm sure he's told me he has. Are they still going?
Well, one of them's not, but...
All right. Inconvenience by death.
We can just... Yeah, we to be honest, when we get together, myself and Ben can do a passable Wurzels.
There you go. Wurzels tribute band. Bring it to the masses.
Yeah, definitely. Only when there's been alcohol involved.
Yeah. Well, that's generally when it's best.
Cameras.
That's generally when it's best to sing Wurzels, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure they were pretty pissed most of the time when they were doing it.
Yeah, enough cider.
Yeah. Ben hasn't. I thought he had for some reason.
He just knows the lyrics. A bit like me.
Oh, that's fine.
I was chasing blackbirds up Wurzel trees.
Stacey just said Hollywood Vampires live shocked me. Was an amazing show. You ever seen them?
No.
Isn't that Alice Cooper and Johnny? Was it Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp, or something like that? It was kind of like an all-star band, if I remember. No, I haven't seen them either. Woohoo! Says Ben.
Yes, I've missed out on Alice Cooper as well. I've not seen Alice Cooper.
No.
My big thing now is there's a lot of them still touring or coming back and touring, and it's like I love David Coverdale's voice. He's got an amazing voice, or he did have. And I didn't go on the last tour because I thought, oh, is it going to be any good? And apparently he was sharing vocals with one of the other band members.
Yeah, he's got to that point. See, the weird thing about him, I saw him, it was a few years ago. Stay said, yes, it was Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp for Hollywood Vampires. I saw him on a clip. Sammy Hagar came out on stage and he got David Coverdale up as a guest. And they did Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
So, difficult song to sing. Coverdale nailed it. And you can tell, because there's been a lot of stories about Coverdale using backing tracks and things now. And unfortunately, it seems to be a thing for a lot of singers to do now. If aging singers who are struggling, they'll have their vocals on backing track, and they'll mime. But he came out and nailed it. So I'm just wondering if it's one of those things just can't go for long stints anymore. Yeah,
I think it's the long stints. I think he's had an operation on his vocal cords.
Yeah, that's never going to be good.
Yeah, well, I think that's helped him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, smooth them out a bit, probably.
Yeah, because the problem is doing that whole... I mean, the thing is, I've listened to sort of like Whitesnake, all sort of listened throughout the 80s and listened to some of the live albums. And there's, I think the one that was really heartbreaking was 1990, Slip of the Tongue tour.
Yeah.
And it was Donington, wasn't it?
Donington.
And he blows his voice out about 3 songs in.
Yeah, Let's Lift the Sky Off. I remember, see, memories.
Oh, were you there for that?
Yeah.
Oh, you bastard! I only got to listen to it on a...
And the first one when Rainbow were headlining. And we were throwing mud pies at Graham Bonnet. I was also there when Graham Bonnet was sacked as the vocalist from the Michael Schenker group.
Really?
At Sheffield Student Union. They were doing a little warm-up gig.
Oh, what happened?
He turned up late and drunk.
That'll do it.
And Michael Schenker and... I can't remember who was on the guitarist at the time. Can't remember. But they basically did all the vocals between them.
It's kind of ironic, as I remember seeing Michael Schenker absolutely out of his tree and pretty much falling over on stage later in his career.
Yes. But then they brought Gary Barden back for Reading, so all was well and good.
Ah, good.
So
yeah, I've never been a fan of Graham Bonnet, I have to say. Like, his voice isn't... He's got an incredible voice, but again, as the years went on, I think he just pushed himself too much, and unfortunately, time took its toll.
Should we start throwing Fleetwood Mac? Seen Fleetwood Mac.
Ooh, which whereabouts?
Oh, it's one of the more recent tours without Christine McVie.
Oh, yes, that is really recent, isn't it?
But
she came back again, didn't she?
She came back, but the tickets went up to 120 quid a ticket.
Jesus Christ!
And I went, how much? There you go. You've got the Yorkshireism for anybody who wanted it.
There you go.
How much?
How much?
And I've paid. I think the most I've paid for a ticket is about 80 quid.
Who was that?
Queen.
Yeah,
with Adam Lambert, strangely enough.
And how was he?
So I've seen him with Paul Rogers. Sorry?
How was Adam Lambert?
I saw him with Paul Rogers first, 2 tours. I was there at Sheffield when did the video for it.
Whereabouts are you standing? I've got the DVD. I'll try and find you.
Oh, you can't find. It just pans round in front of us, and it's facing the other way. Because I'm thinking, bit further. Come on. And it turned round.
Oh.
And I thought, a bit of a shame, but yeah, I've got the DVD as well. And Paul Rogers was different. It was a different concert because he's got a different voice. It was a proper good old rock concert.
I loved it. I thought it was a really good concert.
It was a superb concert. I really enjoyed it. I still listen to it.
Yeah.
And it's the buzz of the start of the concert. I mean, that was a different start because he came on just on his own from under the stage, and then Brian appears from out of the curtains playing a riff to Tie Your Mother Down, and it's a case of, oh my word.
Yeah.
And it's gone, and there's drums and everything, curtain falls, lights are up, and to me that's how a concert should start. And
it was really cool hearing Queen playing some free stuff.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. Playing Wishing Well and stuff like that. Wishing was really good. Did they do Can't Get
All
Enough?
Right Now?
Yeah, All Right Now,
Sorry? Yeah, and Can't Get Enough of Your Love.
Yeah.
Played that as well. That stemmed from Brian and Paul Rogers being on was it Fender? think Fender did some kind of
Oh, okay.
concert,
Yeah.
and they were on there, and it felt good, so they thought they'd give it a go.
And
Adam Lambert, I was a bit concerned about Adam Lambert. So he'd been on American Idol. I thought, well, yeah, he camps it up, but I'm thinking, is he going to want to be a bit Freddie? Because I don't really like the idea of somebody doing the impersonation. But
no.
And I listened to him do Killer Queen. Found it on YouTube, and I'm thinking, I really want to go.
Yeah.
But well, do I want to go that much that I want to listen to a Freddie impersonator do it? And I went, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised. He was really good, because he was. I mean, he gave the whole talk about, one of his biggest influences was Freddie Mercury for his stage presence.
Yeah.
So it says I don't apologise for the bits of me that I like Freddie Mercury, because he was the best frontman ever. And obviously that really ingratiates you to a Queen audience.
Yeah, I'll definitely. You've scored brownie points there.
So it was brilliant. It was amazing, and good enough that that was at Leeds, for Leeds Arena, First Direct Arena, which it doesn't matter where you are, it all sounds good. And the following morning, I'm thinking, yeah, they're doing Sheffield Arena. Oh, and there's some tickets left. And the standing tickets, go on then. And so I went there and standing about 6 foot from the stage.
Oh, wow.
The most civilised concert I've ever been to. There was never going to be a mosh pit there.
Sounds like heaven to me.
Yeah, the people were being civilised, saying, excuse me, walking past you with drinks.
Wow.
It was quite surreal, but I've got some cracking photographs. Obviously, mobile phones have got great cameras now.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some great photos. It was well worth it, and I would, if the timing was right, I would quite happily go again. And I would say to anybody that likes Queen, yeah, go and watch Adam Lambert front him. Yeah, because he's a different kind of camp as Freddie.
Yeah. But he's such a talented individual, though. I mean, singing voice-wise,
his voice the range is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, once Freddie had gone, who was going to replace Freddie?
Should have been George Michael. That performance of "Somebody to Love" at the Queen.
Yeah, that was the nearest, and but who else?
Yeah.
There's not been that many, because at first I thought they didn't want to go with a Freddie type voice.
Yeah.
But was George Michael too big a name? But then they got Paul Rodgers. So
I think if you watch because we were talking earlier about the Freddie Mercury benefit concert. Yeah. You know the bit where some of the members of Extreme come out, and I think
I was just going to say Gary Sharon.
Yeah, but God, Gary, if there was ever somebody trying to audition for a gig, that was Gary, because walking around, giving it everything, trying to air shag everything that moved. It was so funny. It's like, you're trying too hard, son. It's all right. Rein it in a bit.
Yes,
Bless
indeed.
his heart.
And the other question is that came from that not from that concert, because I'd already heard Metallica's version of Stone Cold Crazy. Were Queen the first thrash metal band? There's one for a discussion.
Well, especially the really early stuff.
Yeah, Stone Cold Crazy.
Yeah.
Virtually exactly the same as Metallica played it.
Well, I mean, God, if you go back to, like, is it Queen 1, isn't it? And is it the BBC sessions and stuff like that? The real early stuff. It's really heavy stuff, isn't it? But then I suppose it's same time as Zeppelin as well, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah. Some of it, I mean, Brighton Rock, that's an amazing... God knows where they thought that out, where they were going with all the different layers of the guitar. So, Ogre Battle, Queen 2. Again, ridiculous lyrics, but, the riff that's in there, there's a challenge for you as well. And if you want to keep on Queen, I don't know how long you're planning on going on this one, but I have a bad habit. I can talk forever about Queen. The first
we give it a few more minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Okay. The first record I ever bought with my own money was News of the World.
Oh, good choice.
And it had just come out.
Yeah.
So, so that was saving me pocket money up.
See, that was when music meant something back in the day, before you could Here we go, everyone. Let's get really old and fucking back in there. Aye. But
They'll only be jealous.
yeah, I do wonder. That's why I'd like to get some vinyl, and I'd like to get a record player and everything, and go proper retro again, where the music actually does mean something rather than just random downloads and streams, and where everything's at your fingertips.
Well, I mean, Jasmine's 19 in July, and she likes vinyl.
Yeah,
she's bought vinyl before.
Oh, good girl.
You know, I wondered. I can't even think what she was playing earlier, but I wandered in and I'm thinking, that's a strange. It was just sort of like, you know, what's going off here? Oh, Kate Bush.
Really?
Yeah, she likes Kate Bush.
Ah, good girl.
And she bought the Kick Inside album,
right,
and it was Kite that was on. And I was wandering downstairs. I'm thinking, what's going off here? Then I wandered in, and she's nowhere inside. She turned it up, which is great. Don't have a problem with that. And you know, vinyl's spinning around. She treats it properly. She looks after it. She don't put her fingers all over it. She holds it
so
by edge.
your daughter.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know who should be most worried, the rest of the world or me.
Oh no, I think you've set her in good stead. So if she turns out anything like you, she's done well.
She likes good music. She likes some dodgy music. I've been to concerts with her for stuff she likes. I've been to see the Vamps.
Oh, really?
Which sounds strange, but it's a damn good concert because they write their own stuff. One of them plays drums. One of them plays a guitar. One of them plays a bass. One of them sings or plays a guitar or piano. And a basic proviso for me was when I was started going to concerts is if there's drums, if there's guitars, if there's a bass, and if there's a singer, it can't be bad. Well, it probably can. You
should come and see one of our shows, mate. That would change your mind.
Yeah. No. I could quite go for that. I think there'll have to be a grown-ups visit at some point.
Oh, that would make my year.
Yes.
I've already had it made once. I'd like to have it made again, if you don't mind.
Can give it a go. So yeah, it's something like that. So Vamps, far too many times. 3 times, I think now. Well, she says more. Although she came to see Queen and Adam Lambert, we went to see Green Day because she likes them anyway. Iron Maiden, she's been to see.
God, she's seen a fair old bit as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's decent stuff. Nickelback.
Apparently they do a good show.
It is a good show. Lots of flames.
Yeah.
It's loud. Lots of audience. I've not listened to any Nickelback for a long time, although running around that certain game we were talking about, and there's a little place that's called Nickel, and say, we're going to go and get Nickelback. It's just a wrong thing because you kind of want to start singing songs.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes.
Aye. But, one question actually I wanted to ask you music-wise, because you've seen a lot of these bands like back in the day, and then you've gone and seen them again in the future. Are there any that have withstood the test of time, or do you find that it doesn't matter how good the band is, as the years go by, nothing captures sort of the youthful exertion of a band in its prime?
Metallica.
Yeah.
When they came back, went with 3 people from work, and the depressing bit really was that one of the lads that went with us, he hadn't been born the previous time I'd seen Metallica, and he was 19. So they were, when I saw them, they were amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, they were probably better.
When did you see them again?
I was in the current job that I'm in, so 2000 in something around there, 2010. I can't remember what year it was, but it's in the 2000s anyway.
Yeah.
And before that, I'd been 80s.
Oh, blimey, so a hell of a gap.
Yeah, so hell of a gap. Obviously more refined. The equipment's better, the sound's better, the venues are better. Green Day, they're just a great concert.
Yeah.
Obviously, Queen have had different singers, but Brian still gets up there and sings, and Roger still sings. Their voices are still as strong as they were, and their enthusiasm for it's as good.
Okay, quick question. This is an important Queen question.
Oh dear.
Love of My Life, Freddie
Yes.
singing it or Brian singing it?
The crowd singing it
Oh, you cheeky bastard. Ops.
with Freddie conducting.
Yeah. All right.
Two cracking versions. I mean, Brian sings it now for a different reason because Freddie's not around.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't want to try and compare Brian's and Freddie's voices because they're just two totally different things.
I think I would tip over. Yeah, I think to me Brian's version tipped just because he's got that real kind of fragileness to his voice.
Yeah.
And it's so heartfelt when he sings, and you feel that at some point his voice he's not going to make it, but he does every time.
His voice is going to crack. Yeah.
But again, because he's then singing it for a different reason, I think it just adds a different level of emotion for me.
Yes, and apparently he has cracked occasionally when he's sung it live.
I'm not surprised. I mean, can you imagine that feeling? Just where you just come out in the middle of the audience, just sort of sit down with your guitar.
And an empty stool next to you.
Oh, no, it just gives you...
It's like the Sheffield concert, the one you've got the recording of.
Yeah.
Where Freddie's mum's in the audience somewhere.
Oh.
It's sort of like, where did that come from? And, I mean, that's a brilliant version of it. But,
it's a proper tearjerker.
Yeah.
Just had a Pecco Palola. The only good Nickelback song I like is Burn It to the Ground. Do you know that one? Yeah.
There's a few I like This Afternoon. Because Cheech and Chong probably would have smoked them all about the weeds in the back garden. Sex is never an answer because it's not the question. Something like that. I can't remember. There's a few quite louder ones.
Yeah.
I think it was probably, I don't want to say a phase, but it's a grounds cracking song.
Ben just says, fuck Lars. He's got his own thing going, bless him.
Yeah.
He's unique.
He understands metal liquor more than Metallica, to be honest.
Yeah. And Pekka Palula says again, Dragon Attack, bass and drum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to put some on now.
Yeah, get involved.
Yeah. I'm going to have to turn it up.
We've got to do... we're doing while we're doing lockdown and we're doing some songs of Recovered, we're going to have a go at the full version of Innuendo.
Really?
Yeah, he's putting his heart and soul. That's going to be the full, the whole middle section and everything. So that's my job for tomorrow.
All right. And when's that happening?
That's not going live.
It's not going live.
No, we're doing that. We're recording that properly, sort of studio-wise, and then doing it. Yeah, no, I'm not watching having everyone see me doing about 20,000 takes just to try and get a single line right. Like that. Everyone's got miles better things to do.
As long as we get to see it eventually.
Oh, you'll get the end result.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's like after I've got no voice left and cried in the corner due to my failings. But Andy, I would like to say thank you very much for joining us.
That's a flying hour and a half there.
It does. It's why I love doing this. I get to catch up with people, but you just have a nice ramble chat, and you just see where it goes, and you learn a lot.
And my glass is empty.
Yeah, so's mine. And that was a whole pint of Ribena.
Yeah, so you're really wanting to go somewhere else, aren't you?
Oh, I'm going to be pissing all night.
Does it turn it purple?
I haven't had Ribena for so long, so we shall find out.
No doubt.
But Pico Palula says, hey, also you should do more vocal reviews. I will be getting on some. I've got some planned. Stacey said, awesome interview. Ben says, woohoo, thank you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all for joining us, everyone. It's been lovely.
I've got a painting to do now, you know.
Oh, yes, very quickly. You're going to show us your painting, how you're getting on?
No, not that one. That's been sat there for a long time. I've been doing one a day in May just to try and get me painting again. So
are they up on your Facebook profile?
They're on my There is a page called Andy Shaw Art, which I made a long time ago and never told anybody. And then I kind of bit the bullet and said, I've got to do some, because I used to paint a lot, sold a few.
Oh, wow. You managed to sell some?
Yeah, long time ago. Anything between 35 and I think the most expensive one were a couple of £100.
Better than a kick in the balls, isn't it?
It is, but not done it for a long time because life gets in the way. So
yeah.
At the moment, ESO gets in the way.
Hasn't it just for 5 years?
Yeah, so biting the bullet. A couple of people have asked about, I don't know, can you see that one? Was it too dark in here?
No, could just about make it out.
Yeah, that's been sat there for ages. There's 3 old people to paint on it now. And I did a different angle of it, just as a hour-long sketch. And the grandchildren of the woman that will be on the left there recognised it. It's over in Menorca.
All right.
So I was dead impressed and dead chuffed because, I mean, I took that photograph, I don't know, 8 years ago-ish.
Yeah.
Possibly 9. And my whole idea was to come home, paint it, go back the following year, knock on the door and say, there you go. But obviously, well, not obviously because you can't see them, but they are old people.
Yeah.
And it had got to a point where I kind of wanted to go, well, if I turn up now and knock on the door, are they still going to be there?
Yeah, you don't want to spoil that dream, do you?
You don't want to do that and somebody bursts into tears or smacks you in teeth or doesn't speak a word of English because I don't speak Catalan or Spanish.
No. Say to you, oh, that's lovely, we can put it in their coffin.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, they're all. I'll link from the art page to my Facebook.
Definitely, I want to have a look at that
thing. So, well, there'll be more later. I might even try doing some videos. You never know.
Yeah, do it. Sophie said, "Love you, Andy, but not in a weird way." Ben's asked, "Can you do him a painting?"
Of course I can.
Just do a big old Willy.
Has there got to be a clown in it?
Yeah, big old Willy with a clown's face right on the bell end. Yeah. That's what we need.
That sounds like a tattoo.
It does, doesn't it? And Sophie just said, yes, I've asked. He's very good. So you come highly recommended.
There's a few people offered to pay.
Stacey wants a painting, she's just said.
Yeah, she didn't say she was willing to pay, though.
I know what you should do. Do you do life model painting? We'll get Ben stretched out on a table, grapes over the genitals, being fed cherries by someone. There we go.
I thought you were going to say Soph then.
There you go, Soph. There's your job. You are the cherry feeder.
I think at that point we both need to run.
That could be one of the most incredible things that's ever been seen.
Yes, except I'm a lot nearer Sophie than you are. And she's talking about coming to Doncaster to see one of her friends sometime later in the year.
Yeah.
So she could well find me.
Well, then you get clown over as well. You can have 2 real life models, can't you?
Yeah. I don't do people.
No, it's too much hard work.
Yeah. It's there. I'll stick to buildings and seas and snow and streets, and I'll stick people in them, but that's it.
Awesome. And I shall go and have a look and investigate.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Andy. It has been a pleasure, as always, to make your acquaintance.
And yours.
And at some point, I shall return. I do go on here, so I go on every morning just to do my horse training.
Yeah, some people don't really know about that, so...
No. Are you going to do... I know we talked about this before, and it would be really cool. Actually, here's an idea for you, everyone in Grown Ups Gaming Guild. If everyone... you did like a video of things that you should do at the start of the game or helpful tips, and just have each member send in a little video talking about a tip of advice.
What, you mean like send the disc back?
Yeah. Yeah, just give it to a friend, never play it again.
Are you patient? Do you anticipate playing this game for more than a year? No? Take it back. Trade it in.
Yeah.
Don't darken my door.
This is a lifestyle, this isn't a game.
Yeah.
I think that would be quite cool, though, if you have everybody sort of just putting in their 10 cents kind of thing and just saying all the little tips that they wish they known at the start, and just have like almost like for introductory for anyone who comes into the guild. You can say, go and check out this video, and it's all different people from the guild giving advice. I think that'd be quite nice.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Interesting. Could be a way of saying no, I don't fancy that. But
no, I'll go with the go and train your mount.
yeah, there we go. Train your mount every day, everyone. All right.
Learn alchemy.
Ben just said mine would say drink more, and Samuel says just uninstall the game. Yeah. You're never going to regain those 5 years.
No. But I don't care.
No, exactly. It's been worth it.
Yes.
All right, mate. You take care, and
you?
hope to speak and see you soon.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks a lot. Take care.